Sigma is similar to an alpha, but he has a stronger edge and protection against disrespect. Consider someone who is a lone wolf. A Sigma, like any other character, commands a room with his calm mystery and fascination. Women are drawn to him as a result of this. He is also successful in his work, yet he isn't afraid to take risks and push the edge. The Sigma is seen as the rarest archetype of a man in the manosphere, and those attributes are coveted. Today I will show you how a Sigma male is protecting himself against disrespect. They check their intention. First things first, they need to determine whether the person who disrespected them did so intentionally or not. It's a good idea to err on the side of assuming the disrespect was unintentional. This doesn't mean that what they said doesn't hurt them. It just sets Sigmas up for how best to handle the situation. They check their reaction. Sigma males take a moment to step back and do a quick analysis on why they felt disrespected. Did the person hit a nerve or touch on something that's personal to Sigma guy? Consider whether or not the other person knew this before they spoke, or if clarifying this would open their eyes to why the Sigma reacted to their comment or action. Remember to consider the person speaking and what they're going through personally. They put themselves in their shoes and try to empathize with the person who made the comment or action. Are they under a lot of stress or in a specific situation that may have caused them to snap unintentionally? Sigmas are not making excuses for them. This just may change their perspective and how they handle things. If you are a Sigma, this is what you need to handle disrespect. In person, if you're comfortable speaking to the person directly, go for it. But remember a few things first. Take a deep breath. You don't want to go in hot and risk saying something you don't mean, or worse, disrespecting the other person right back. Remember, you're here for resolution, not revenge. Decide on your desired outcomes before you start talking. If you just want to let them know they hurt you so they are aware, do just that. If you want them to remedy the situation, consider how that would be possible for you. Stay calm. Keeping your head in this situation is paramount. You want to express yourself and be heard without going off the rails. Ask for clarification if necessary. It's easy to misunderstand other people's words or actions. If you're not sure whether someone is intentionally being disrespectful, sometimes it can be helpful to ask. Keep your tone calm and use words that are neutral and non-confrontational. For example, if someone says something you think might have been disrespectful, you could say, "What did you mean when you said that?" Determine whether it's worthwhile to respond. If the disrespectful behavior was very minor or was just a one-time event, it's typically preferable to ignore it and move on. Confronting the person is unlikely to assist and may even worsen the problem. A confrontation may be justified if the behavior is part of a pattern or if it is interfering with your everyday life or your capacity to work. If your partner or spouse, for example, is always being nasty to you or refuses to consider your feelings, it's time to communicate. If you choose to confront the other individual, speak to them directly. It's usually best to speak with someone one-on-one if you believe they are being rude to you. If you're dealing with a disrespectful employee, for example, talk to them first before approaching your manager. Going over the person's head may result in resentment and exacerbate the problem. You could also get them into difficulty unnecessarily if the problem is caused by a simple misunderstanding. In extreme instances, though, it may be permissible to ignore the disrespectful person. Stop and decide what to say before you speak. You may be tempted to lash out at the rude person and give them a piece of your mind. However, doing so is unlikely to be helpful. Instead, make sure that whatever you plan to say is true, helpful, and necessary for getting your point across. Set a boundary. Boundaries show the people around you how you deserve to be treated. Rather than expressing your anger, consider setting a boundary with the person who disrespected you. Simply saying, "Please don't speak to me that way or I'm going to step outside for a moment," puts the control back in your hands. It's true that setting boundaries is easier said than done. If you aren't able to set a boundary at that moment, consider speaking with the person at another time. This way, you can calmly express your concern once you've had time to think. Disrespectful people are known to be very critical of the people around them. They may be used to making other people feel small and to disregard their dreams, goals, and decisions. Because of this, those on the receiving end of this behavior may be tempted to believe in what these disrespectful people think of them. It's definitely not easy to be consistently surrounded by all this negativity. That's why you need to constantly remind yourself of the truth and affirm your worth. What you think of yourself is not dependent on the input of others. You have all the capabilities and skills to achieve what you set your mind to. Let's say that you've just finished confronting a disrespectful person. No matter how he reacts to this request, eventually, you have to learn to let it go and move forward. You can't let yourself get bogged down by how other people treat you. Don't let the negativity from your interactions continue to affect the way you live your life. At the end of the day, you can choose to release all bitterness that you have against this person and move on.